Welcome back to my podcast, The 4 a.m. Talks. I'm your host, Manoj Velu. We are back again with another episode, and I'm super happy to be back to this episode. I just keep coming back, and I'm really happy that I'm doing 2 episodes per week. Always very happy, and I'm really grateful for you. You always come to these episodes, you have listened to all, and you always wanted to get better, and that is the most important thing for me, to get something out of every episode that you watch. Go back, review, reflect, and get better. So we have talked about numerous things on our podcasts. Today I just thought that I would bring up something really important. That is, if you looked at our podcast, especially the stories with Manoj Velu, if you look at that episodes, you would always have this, you would have heard this numerous times. In fact, on all the episodes that I've always talked about, review. Go back, review. Go back, review, get better. Go back, review, get better. So this is our plan. This is the three stage plan. Go back, sit, reflect, and get better. So this three-stage process has some issues, I felt. The issues meaning there is nothing wrong in the process, or in those three steps. The problem is with an individual who doesn't want to review, meaning he is scared to just review. It shouldn't, it is an effect, meaning like you are doing something, or you are not able to do something for some reason, but you always have something in your mind that one day you would go out there and achieve. But if you have not achieved in whatever years that you had given for yourself, you shouldn't be afraid, or you shouldn't be so I would say feel sad, or not motivated. You have to face the stuff, you have to face yourself. There is no other go, you have to face that stuff. So imagine John Carpenter. He wanted to become the greatest basketball player of all time. What he does is he says this in front of everybody. In every interview that he goes, he's inspired by many people. So he says that he wanted to become the greatest basketball player of all time. So this is his dream. There's nothing wrong. So he's going to work towards it. As he goes along, people believe that this guy is really doing the things that he wanted to, and he actually goes out there and performs like nobody else. Like there is nobody who could perform at that level with that high intense performance that you can get from someone else. It's highly impossible. He was that good. But as the days goes on, and as he gets into his personal things like his marriage and all the other things, he starts to understand that that passion of getting to become the greatest is not there anymore, and he starts to talk about life a lot more. And he there's philosophy being included in his interviews, and he says family is important and everything is right. But what he failed to understand at that moment is his end goal. Yes, personal life and family is important, it's there for everyone, but people have gone on and achieved and also dealt with their personal things as well. So it is not an excuse, but this is what he decides to do. What will happen to this person, to this John Carpenter, when he turns out to be 60 or 65? He has to review. He has to sit down with himself, and if he reflects back, he would say to himself that the inner voice will tell him, you know what, you said to everyone, including yourself, the most important thing, that you would go out and become the best that you wanted to, but you had all the qualities, you had the circumstances, you had time, you had that young age and the ability, the stamina and everything, but still you finished just becoming one of the great, and that is a failure according to you. You have to sit down and you have to review. So if you recognize this when you are at 30 and you still have some time to play, what will happen to that John Carpenter? He will go out there and he'll become the best ever. Even though there is only 5 years of time, I bet you he will go out there and he'll become the best. But the thing is, he has to face that stuff. Will he be able to do that? Or will the insecurities within him will say, no, don't face that, because you're gonna get humiliated? The reason is, you can't lie to the man in the mirror. If you're standing in front of the mirror, and if you're saying something, you can't say anything less than truth, because you can't lie. That is the best thing, and that is the worst thing if you are thinking on the other way. So my challenge to you is, instead of realizing these facts when you're 75, you can actually go out there and review today. And can you ask one question to yourself, that is, what is that one thing that I have to do to make sure that I come back and align myself to my dream, and can I still go out there and try to achieve my dream? If this is your question, and if you have that end goal in mind very clear, and if you know the process and it will get you there, you can start right away. There is no such thing called this is too late. No, that is not going to happen with you. You are taking control, or you are not dictating other things to control you. You are dictating it, and you are dictating it to the good things, and it will happen to you. It will happen to you because you have understood yourself, and you know that you can't face that regret stuff when you are at 75. So my question to you, when this episode comes down to the end, I just wanted you to go back and ask yourself, what are the questions that you don't want to face when you are at 75? Nobody would have asked you these questions. I'm dead sure about it. What are the questions that you don't want to ask yourself when you are 75? What are the things that you fear the most? You might list it down. You might say regret. You might say, there is a lot of I wish, which also comes down to regret as well. But if you're having that, can you list that in a sheet of paper and look at it each and every day? Every single day you look at it, so that you are well prepared, that you will not ask that question. Not even one single question which you have written on that paper, you will never ask it, because that fear will become your motivation. What if I go out and actually ask these questions? Oh my God, I can't do it. This is what you would say. But you will not stop there. You would go one step deeper and ask yourself, what is that one thing that I can do to make sure that I'm out of that, and I'm able to do something so that I can eliminate this question. Okay, then you scratch that question. Next you go to the next question, and then you act, then you scratch it, then you go act, scratch it, act, scratch it. So what happens at the end is, you will not ask any questions, any such questions of regret, what if, wishing, instead of executing and performing. All these things will not happen to you if you don't ask the right questions. And just a simple question, what are the questions that you don't want to ask yourself at 75, so that that act of regret and wishful thinking, all those things come into your mind and it dominates you. And eventually, I'm not going to use the word, but I'm going to use it just for the sake, not just for the sake of using it, but actually to make you understand the importance of the situation. You are actually dead. So understand that your dream is more important than anything else. Whatever it is, you need to be happy with whatever you wanted to, and that journey of you always wanted to go after will eventually make your life more interesting and challenging, and you'll always become the better person. That is our motive. I've always said this numerous times, and I don't mind saying it again. I just want you to become better each and every single day, and that will keep you going no matter what, and you'll achieve your dream. That is the ultimate goal. So with that, after this episode is gonna end here, you gotta go and just grab a piece of paper, write down the things that you don't want to ask, or you don't want to face those questions when you're at 75, and write it down and just see that every single day. Definitely that will be your motivating factor. That fear of you, I don't want to ask this question when I'm 75. What should I do? Oh, yeah, I have to do this. I have to do this. Okay, can I do this? Can I ask this for someone help? Can someone help me with this? Yes, they can. So you would be acting, and you would be more productive, and you would be more cautious, and you would actually go on and make that exponential growth that you always wanted to, because that fear of you don't want to ask that specific questions when you're 75 will eventually going to motivate you, and you will go on and achieve your dream. With that being said, have a wonderful day, everyone. I'll see you in the next episode. See you guys. Take care. Bye.